Giving back is very important when you are successful, when you have the luck to have a job, to have a family, to be healthy. And I really enjoy the fact that the Le Bernardin and myself, we are volunteering and we are active in the community that is surrounding us. And we like to help organizations, especially CD Harvest, obviously. As you know, we are helping CD Harvest to distribute food to people who are in need in New York City. A driver comes once a day, brings it to the truck, and then it goes to shelters. This is the rice we are making now. Thank you. The idea is to make something that is inexpensive, nutritional, and healthy.
Ratatouille is an easy dish to make for yourself or even for the family that doesn't even cost too much money, but in terms of flavor, it's very powerful and very delicious.
This is a great feeling to see a fridge empty after putting so much good stuff in it. Very happy.
Made possible by Olympus. The Olympus Stylus Tough camera is made to take whatever life dishes out, in or out of the kitchen. By Wine.com. With thousands of wines from around the world, gifts, wine clubs, and the information you need to make a wine selection. Wine.com for wine online. By Cuisinart and the elite collection of food processors. With 3 nested work bowls, a seal-tight lid for maximum capacity use, blade lock for pouring, and a 6-in-1 adjustable slicing disc. It's the next innovation for the modern kitchen. By Aquapana Natural Spring Water. Emerging from a deep spring near the Renaissance Villa Pana, Aquapana is dedicated to bringing the taste, history, and culinary tradition of Tuscany to life. Aquapana, from Tuscany for the art of dining.
At Le Bernardin, we provide the best food and hospitality we can. Here in New York City, we are part of a larger community, and we are inspired to support our city and the families that can use our help.
Me and my wife both work, and I mean, before we found places like this, there was times, like I said, we would just cook rice and give the kids a glass of water because we didn't have it, because food is so expensive.
If you've never been hungry, it's hard to explain to you. The feeling that gets in your stomach when it growls, or your children's stomach are growling and you have no food.
I'm a diabetic. If I don't eat, I get sick. If I'm really sick, I gotta go to the hospital. So in my situation, I gotta have things of this nature.
We don't always use every part of the ingredients. And rather than going to waste, food that is not cooked or served gets packed and sent to City Harvest every day, where it feeds 260,000 hungry families each week.
As you know, we are helping CD Harvest to distribute food to people who are in need in New York City. And a lot of those people are not even homeless. They are people with jobs, people who have families. But in New York, it's very expensive, and therefore they don't have enough money to feed their family. Most of you know we take leftover at the end of the day or during the day when we have some good food that we can pack in those boxes or bags when it's bread. And we put it in a fridge downstairs. A driver comes once a day. Believe it or not, we use only the skin of the zucchinis, bring it to the truck, and then it goes to shelters. And the food we give is redistributed to some chefs who create a meal for people in need. And sometimes it may look like it's not very important what you have on the front of you, but for instance, those mushrooms here, we do a stock with it, but they're still very good. And when they go to City Harvest with it, they make a vegetable and they feed sometimes 20, 30, 40 people with it. So I just want to remind you that we need your help and we need you to be sensitive to the need of people who are hungry. Thank you very much. You can go back to your stations. Thank you. So we're so happy to give to City Harvest. We have so much leftover food at the end of the day. And to give back, you know, it's really a good feeling. And the staff at Le Bernardin is very excited to save some good food for the people of City Harvest. And, you know, this is a great feeling to see a fridge empty after putting so much good stuff in it. Very happy. Well, we are in the South Bronx at the City Harvest Market. That happens twice a week. We receive for the market some vegetables that are given every week by companies. Also sometimes buy food from farmers way in advance to get food to those markets. Today the deliveries were tomatoes, cucumbers, plantain and peaches. The food here is given for free, and you have about 500 people each time the market is open who come here and who are allowed to shop and pick up the vegetables that they need for their diet. People come hours before the market open, and it's a very vibrant and dynamic place.
My own team, along with other restaurants, volunteers and companies who also support City Harvest, have come to this market to share our knowledge and, of course, food.
Of course, it's a big difference to cook fine food in a very luxurious restaurant and then ending up in the market and cooking something more basic. However, it's about food. It's about feeding people. I'm applying the same passion that I apply to Le Bernardin to what we are going to cook here. It's just different. Instead of feeding people who are coming to have an experience and indulge, I'm feeding people who are in need of inspiration to feed themselves, and I don't see the difference. It's the same. I'm applying the same mentality about respect for the ingredients and respect for ourselves and eating well. We are going to do a fried rice. So we're using brown rice because brown rice is much more nutritional than white rice, and it has fiber as well. And I saw that today you had on the market some tomatoes, you had some cucumbers, I saw some plantains and some cabbage. So the idea is to use those vegetables and to make a dish that is easy to prepare and is also very nutritional for you. So we have the rice cooking here, and I put some of the plantain to cook with the rice. I diced it up and put it in the rice, cooked it with water for a long time, for about 40 minutes, because brown rice cooks much longer than white rice. And then here, to give some flavor to our rice, we're using some oil, and I have some onion. So if you have some onion at home in your pantry, that definitely will give you some flavor. Then I have a little bit of garlic that we chopped. So the garlic, again, gives some nice flavor to the vegetables, as you know. And I have some ginger, if you like spicy, but the ginger is optional. We're using some of the tomatoes, like that. And then we are going to use some of the cucumbers that you just find on the stand over there, like this. And we're gonna stir it up like that, just to cook the vegetables a little bit. Let's suppose in your house you have some carrots or you have some other vegetables, you can always add it. You can be creative. I know that you find today the cabbage in market and you find the cucumber, but we can add anything we have. So I have carrots here. I have some squash, so we can add squash. So now I'm adding the brown rice to my vegetables. So you remember I put the plantain and the brown rice because the plantain needs to be cooked. So the rice, the plantain, the cabbage, some onions and garlic, and then if you like some spice, we put spice. the plantain is going to be cooked all the way with your rice. That's what you're going to have. I like curry, so I'm going to add a little bit of curry because it gives a nice flavor. Thank you. The idea is to make something that is inexpensive, nutritional and healthy. It's good for your heart, it's good for digestion, it's good because it's nutritional and then you're not hungry in 2 hours. So that's it. That was the recipe. It's that simple. Thank you for coming. Thank you, it's a pleasure and I wish you good luck in the kitchen with that. You'll see, it's going to be a success.
Is it good? Right here, you got another one right here. All right, let's go.
Every day, 17 City Harvest trucks and 3 cargo bikes drive through the 5 boroughs, picking up fresh food from restaurant and food businesses, and delivering them to public pantries and soup kitchens that will prepare meals for people who need them. Today, after picking up contributions from the restaurant, I changed my chef whites and joined Dave on the truck. First stop, Citarella Food Market.
Joe, how are you doing?
How you doing? How are you?
Very good to see you.
Great. The truck's outside?
Yeah, we have the truck outside.
Let's go.
Wow, you have beautiful things for us.
Yeah, so
what? You have
we have some vine tomatoes.
Yeah,
We got some salmon.
some salmon.
And we have
which-
some.
Wow, that's super nice. And
We have
chicken.
some great chickens.
That's really cool.
And we
the
got some baguettes.
And some baguettes that are, wow, okay. So we're gonna put the baguettes in the bags and then
Bag
we,
it up and let's go.
yeah, beautiful tomatoes, a box of chicken makes wonders over there, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the
And
salmon,
there's the salmon.
and that's the organic salmon on top of it. That's nice. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Joe, thank you. I'll see you soon.
Anytime.
Okay.
The next stop is less than 2 miles up the avenue, but a world of difference.
I am on 117th Street and First Avenue, New York City, on the front of the house of Mary of Nazareth. And I am with Sister Marie Valérie, who's organizing this place for more than 20 years. So Marie Valérie, how did you start?
Our bishop, the most reverend bishop Jean-Marie, started 20 years ago, and is our founder, starting across the street, little by little, with a little shopping cart, picking up food here and there. It was difficult at the beginning. And then more and more people came, and we help them every day to eat a good meal for lunch. At night, we go on the street twice a week, and we bring in our van, in a hot container, feed them in the street wherever they sleep. And then taking care for AIDS patients and taking care for orphan kids as well.
So in this small kitchen, they cook about 300 meals, which is amazing. Today on the menu, they have some rice and chicken. The skin is very crunchy and it looks delicious. So you have 300 people who come here
Every
daily.
day, yes. For
300
lunchtime.
people.
600 family come every Friday.
600 family
every
come.
Friday.
Oh my God.
Friday, it's not a good day to come, to visit.
Oh, it's difficult.
I mean, busy. You mean,
Yes, you're
yeah.
busy. Yes, yes, of course, I understand. This lady is helping here as a volunteer from Tuesday to Friday, which is a big commitment, of course. So the way the food is delivered to people is very dignifying. You come in, you take your tray, you have your silverware, you have a nice plate, you have a glass, you can sit down. It looks like a cafeteria, and I think that is very important. I live 20 blocks away from here, and it's hard to believe that here, so close to my house, people are in need of good food. So we have to think about what can we do to help you more.
Yes.
And every day you have enough food?
Yes.
Every
yes.
day you can-
Every
you
day,
can-
yeah.
So that's a blessing, of
So
course.
far, yes.
And so it goes every day of the week. City Harvest delivers food to nearly 600 community food programs that feed about 1 million people each year.
Coming back from the market of City Harvest, I have been inspired to cook something with basic vegetables, something that you find very easily in stores. At Le Bernardin, as you saw it, we give a lot of zucchinis, we give a lot of eggplants, and I thought of doing a ratatouille. Ratatouille is a
Provençal dish that is very simple to make. What we are going to do is we are going to start with some extra virgin olive oil. And that's probably the most expensive item we are using in this recipe. I'm adding in it some onions, which have been diced, some garlic, which has been diced too. And we are going to saute under a medium heat those vegetables. I always put a little bit of salt on the beginning to let the vegetables give the juice. We can season too with some pepper. And while they are going to start to cook, I'm going to cut the pepper. So we have here a red pepper. I'm removing the end, and then I'm going to split it. And you see inside we have some seeds, which I'm going to remove. The seeds do not add any flavor to the ratatouille. And I'm starting to cook first with the onions and garlic to have a little bit of flavor, and then I will start to cook the vegetables that take the longest to be ready. So the pepper takes a long time compared to the zucchini, compared to the eggplant, compared to the tomatoes. Red pepper has a very sweet quality, very different than the green pepper. Green pepper is not as sweet, not as fruity. I'm doing some dice, more or less the same size as the onions. So it doesn't have to be very precise, but everything should have more or less the same size. And soon as I have the dice ready, they are going into the pan to start to cook. And you're starting to hear and actually also smell the onions and the garlic, and even the sweetness of the pepper start to come up. I have that green pepper. We're going to use the green pepper as well. It's not spicy, it's a sweet one. And the idea is to have, again, more or less the same size. So it's a very fast process, so far at least. Sometimes the vegetables have the tendency to drink a lot of the oil. In that case, you always add a little bit of oil, like that. We are cooking it gently. It's a couple of recipes that differ in terms of making ratatouille. Some chefs like to saute the vegetables separately from each other. I think it's better to cook them together because they interact in terms of flavor. There's a nice osmosis in between flavors. If you cook them separately and then add it together, your ratatouille doesn't have the same flavor. So this is a fairly rustic dish that comes from the Mediterranean in many different ways. It's called ratatouille in the south of France. When you put spices in Morocco and in North Africa, it changed name. Depending on which country use more or less the same ingredients, the name changed, but it's very much the same. Now we are going to use the eggplant. So I'm going to remove the top of the eggplant. And the eggplant has a skin that is a bit tough. So what I like to do sometimes is to remove part of the skin and keep some of the skin. So we are going to basically peel it, but halfway, like this. Then we are going to slice it again. And this is a beautiful eggplant. It doesn't have any seeds. And that's a good sign because when the eggplant has a lot of seeds, the eggplant has a lot of bitterness. The eggplant is going into the pan again. I'm adding a little bit more salt, a bit more pepper. And now we can speed up a little bit the process by putting more heat. You see the vegetables do not stick to the pan, but eventually they are going to take some color and stick to it. So I'm always adding a little bit more olive oil. The eggplant is like a sponge. It drinks a lot of the olive oil. The vegetables are going to release a lot of juice. They also are going to shrink a lot and become much softer. Now I start to see some caramelization in the pan. I don't want that too much, so I'm going to lower the heat again. Now the tomatoes. And I'm going to remove the part where the stem is attached. We are going to split the tomato in half and remove some of the seeds like that, very simply. And the tomatoes, when they will go in a pan, will bring a lot of juice. And it's needed. If not, your ratatouille will be very, very dry. So we're adding our tomatoes. And you can even hear in a pan the water from the tomatoes is changing the way it's cooking. Now it's not going to be searing anymore. It's going to be more stew by the juice of the tomatoes. A bit of salt. So when I'm putting salt on vegetables or when I'm cooking with the salt, I'm sprinkling it in thin layers. And in my mind, I think I'm seasoning the tomatoes. I'm seasoning the eggplant. I never put salt for the entire quantity of vegetables in it. I'm seasoning vegetables one by one. Now, if your tomatoes don't release too much juice, you can add a little bit of tomato puree or even sometimes a little bit of water. I'm going to lower the heat again. And what is important is to let them cook for about 45 minutes on a slow heat. I'm going to taste the juice and the vegetables to make sure it tastes good. Actually, it needs salt, but I think toward the end, after reducing all those juice, we will find the seasoning to be perfect. So now the ratatouille is simmering and it's cooked. The vegetables are soft. It's juicy, almost like a thick sauce. I'm going to take a nice bunch of basil. I'm going to slice it. And I'm putting the basil at the very end because if you put the basil on the beginning, it will lose all its flavor. So we're putting the basil and you can smell it. It's very, very, very strong. And now the ratatouille is ready. I'm going to stop the heat. That ratatouille could be stored in a fridge for a day or 2 or 3. You can eat it cold, hot, but I have an idea. It's something very simple and very delicious that I do very often at home. I'm going to put the ratatouille in a little platter like that. It's going to become actually my meal, my main course. I'm going to break 2 eggs on top of it. If you have the ratatouille already made, it's very simple and fast. A bit of salt on the eggs. We can even add a little bit of Parmesan, not on the yolk. And now we're going to put it in the oven, broiling it for about 2 minutes. And now it should be ready. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice the egg yolk and it's going to go all over the ratatouille like that. And I'm going to mix it a little bit and with some bread I'm going to dip in it. And this is a very tasty, actually light dish that is very delicious. It's a great combination. The egg yolks really brings everything together. As you know, it's always a bit thick and rich and sweet. And you have the vegetables underneath that are a perfect marriage. And this is an easy dish to make for yourself or even for the family that doesn't even cost too much money, but in terms of flavor, it's very powerful and very delicious. Santé, cook from life.
This offer is not available in stores. Eric's latest book, Avec Eric, is the companion to his Emmy Award-winning TV series. Filled with over 100 recipes, it captures Eric's adventures in stunning photographs and takes you to the source of inspiration. You will also receive a 3-DVD set of the new season of Avec Eric, including 13 Perfect Pairings episodes with Aldo Sohn. The cost for all of this is $44.99, a savings of 25% off the list price at aveceric.com/TV. To order, call 1-866-469-ERIC. For more culinary inspiration with Eric, visit his website for free access to recipes, exclusive wine pairings and videos, and download Avec Eric multimedia and mobile apps. Join the Avec Eric community. Log on to aveceric.com.
Made possible by Olympus. The Olympus Stylus Tough camera is made to take whatever life dishes out. In or out of the kitchen. By Wine.com. With thousands of wines from around the world, gifts, wine clubs, and the information you need to make a wine selection. Wine.com for wine online. By Cuisinart and the elite collection of food processors. With 3 nested work bowls, a seal-tight lid for maximum capacity use, blade lock for pouring, and a 6-in-1 adjustable slicing disc. It's the next innovation for the modern kitchen. By Aquapana Natural Spring Water. Emerging from a deep spring near the Renaissance Villa Pana, Aquapana is dedicated to bringing the taste, history, and culinary tradition of Tuscany to life. Aquapana, from Tuscany for the art of dining.